Hey guys, welcome to the Daily Special. It's a new home food adventure that I'm beginning. The reason I call it the Daily Special is basically when I do cook, it's one entree, two sides, and a dessert. It all comes included in the plate. So it's something different every time I do it, just like a restaurant has a daily special. Mine's a daily special. Today, what I make, I kind of specialize in Italian foods. That's mostly what I'll be cooking, but I can grill. Most of my daily specials are going to be a different type of Italian food. My expertise is in my sauce. My secret is in the sauce. So I actually had it prepared today. The menu, the item I'm going to be making are my, I call them Mini Manicottis. The sauce I already prepared because it takes hours to be ready to use. So that's already been done, and I'm just gonna go through the basics and show you how to put a manicotti together. So this is my sauce. It's been brewing since about 9:30 this morning. Just keep it on a low heat so it gets all the ingredients all blended in, and just keep it stirred so it doesn't burn on the bottom of the pan. What I'm gonna be starting first is the meat. Need to brown my ground beef, and I do mix a little bit of hot sausage with the ground beef together. So that'll be my next step. Hands are too big for these. So we kind of just break this up, grab the hot sausage, and just mix it in all together, brown it, and we will be able to put all our mixtures together for the filling. This just needs to cook up. Add a little Worcestershire sauce to it. Add some seasoning salt to it, and some onion powder, a bit of salt and pepper, and some garlic powder. Mix it up. Okay, while that's doing that, I'm gonna start the water for the noodles. The reason I call them Mini Manicottis is because I don't use the ordinary type of noodles. I use a regular lasagna noodle instead of the round noodles that they usually do, and you push your stuff through. Whether it's cheese or meat, you can use your little bakery things and push it all in. It's just easier to roll this way. They don't split, so I roll them up in a lasagna thing. They're not as long. They're about half the wide. That's why I call them the Mini Manicottis. But I don't have a problem with the noodles splitting when you're trying to fill them and stuff. While this stuff is cooking, I guess I could talk a little bit about myself, how I got into cooking and stuff, I guess. If anybody's interested, started when I was young, and my first job was 14 years old. Worked at a restaurant backwoods as a dishwasher, and then got promoted to a prep cook. And I had a really good chef teaching me how to do some different types of food, and first time I ever did lasagna was from him. And being Italian, you know, I really like the Italian food. And then I took a lot of home ec classes in school because my mom was always busy working 2 jobs, and you know, and we had to fend for ourselves. So I wanted to learn how to cook because SpaghettiOs just doesn't work for me. But anyway, that was the old Italian food that we used to get. So anyway, so I learned little by little, learn how to cook, and stuck with Italian stuff, and then, you know, experimenting in all kinds of things until I finally came up with my sauce, my favorite, you know, my specialty sauce. And everybody seems Italian, who makes Italian food, always seem to have a preference in how they make their sauce. Their sauce is always secret. That's why I kind of made it, well, I make it early because it needs to cook so long, and plus I kind of don't want to tell my secret because then it wouldn't be a secret anymore. Sauce, basics: stewed tomatoes, diced tomatoes, paste, onion, Italian seasonings, peppers, 2 special ingredients that I can't say. And I add garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of oregano, simmer all that together. Yeah, there's a little meat in there too. But as far as the business, the daily special, it's the basic Italian favorites. lasagna, pasta meatballs, meatball sandwiches, manicottis. I do a fettuccine Alfredo too, but I really like my red sauce a lot better, and most people who have it enjoy the red sauce much better. And then I also will grill. I'll do tri-tip and chicken if people want to grill. I specialize in that too. I'm just a cooking madman. My background, I guess, personal wise, I played hockey most of my life. Played a lot of competitive sports. Trained since I was 14, played a lot of tennis. I guess they call me like a Steve of most trades. I can pretty much do any construction thing around the house, odds and ends that need to be fixed or repaired. So I'm just a can-do guy, but I really am thrilled to be starting this food thing. I enjoy cooking food, and I enjoy making people happy and see them smile after they eat my food. It's taken a while in my life, but I'm looking forward to it. You're never too young to start. So we just got to let that meat finish cooking up, strain it, and then I'll get the bowl out, get ready for my other ingredients. I like to put a towel down so the bowl don't make all kinds of noise on the counter. Makes it quieter. The filling, pretty simple. There's not a real whole lot of extra stuff you put in the filling itself. Some people don't, I like to put onions in mine. I chop up my onions really, really small and, like minced onions. So it really helps the meat, flavors the meat more. 1 egg. Per pound of meat. 1 egg, 15 ounces of ricotta, a cup of mozzarella, and as much onion as you want to put in there, just a matter of preference. You put some, garlic powder in there, some onion powder, a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. I myself, I'm not a big salt and pepper fan. Pepper to me it tastes like pepper. It's just the heat, it's just a flat kind of taste. So I don't use a lot of pepper. I use other stuff. Almost done. I'm gonna brown just a little bit more and get my little processor out. All right, looks like the meat's done. And I strain it into another bowl because it's not good for the garbage disposal to take all that grease in. I take it and I grind it up real fine for the filling. Besides making a mess. And you do this, repeat this until all the meat's done. Okay, is that our ingredients? Egg, and a cup of mozzarella, and your 15 ounces of ricotta. Usually you can just squeeze it right on out. It comes right out. There you go. Nice and easy. Usual prep time for the Mini Manicottis is around 30 minutes. And cooking time is 30 more minutes. And then the sauce takes time in the morning, but it's just mainly because it has to be cooked for hours to get all the flavors together in the sauce. Yeah, it takes about 4 to 6 hours. So it depends on how big a batch I make. This is a single batch. I'm used to making, 3-4 batches at a time. Teaspoon of garlic powder. A teaspoon of onion powder. There we go. I gotta put my onions in there. Just so you kind of go by taste. Onion adds really good flavor. Yep, mix it up. And let me just let that sit, and I just got to do the noodles. Now we add the noodles into the water. And they'll soften up and they'll just bend down in there. I always make extra noodles because sometimes the noodles, the edges peel off and stuff like that, just like any other noodle. Likes to come apart a little bit, but the rolling part's the easy part. So what we're gonna have today with the Manicottis is one of my plates that you get 2 sides. It's gonna be salad and my cheesy my own made cheesy garlic bread that I make with it. And also the dessert, which are my homemade cookies. I used to do a lot of, we had a little barbecue when I was young, and I used to do like hamburgers and chicken kind of thing. I didn't know how to, tri-tip and everything. Well, we couldn't afford it back then anyway. So hamburgers and chicken. And then I just really got into my Italian food because my Italian heritage, I used to love eating all the Italian food from my families back in Omaha, Nebraska, where I was born. And I missed it when I left Colorado when I was 7 because of a divorce. And Mom moved us to Colorado and missed the Italian food. So I just started experimenting, basic stuff, thinking that, ragu, stuff out of a jar was something really good, and it wasn't. I just didn't like it, thought it was plain, bland, and so I just started making Italian food. As far as scheduling wise and stuff like that, I plan on hopefully doing it at least every other week, 1 day a week or 1 day every other week, if not more, depending on how well it goes. I'm semi-retired, but I'm looking forward to doing this. I'm still young at heart, young in mind. I'm looking forward to doing this adventure. My wife is, support me all the way. So I don't know, I just enjoy it. I love to make people happy. I love to make people smile when they eat. That's my purpose. Just be careful, don't stick your face in front of the hot water because it will burn you. Okay, now the fun part. I spray a little Pam on the bottom. And I also put a small layer of sauce on the bottom. This really helps from anything kind of sticking. It also gives you a little bit extra sauce. And now I take lasagna noodle and I cut it in half. And then you take the stuffing and put a big amount on there. And then you just roll it on over. You'll lay it in the dish. And just continue that same process.
How often do you make this one?
I've done this a couple times.
Only a couple?
Only a couple times. Only a couple.
Kind of special.
Kind of special. Yeah, I liked them. I came up with this idea. I'm sure other people have done it because I always had an issue.
Well, what's the original?
Well, it's a big round noodle about that long, and it's a big round noodle.
It's like Italian enchiladas.
Yeah, and you got what it is, kind of thing. And you usually, when it's cheese or like this kind of stuff, they usually use those cake frosting bags.
Yeah.
And they use those to like squeeze it into that noodle. But the problem I always had is the noodles like to split down the side and they break open. So I just came up, I think my wife helped me on this. She came out, I think she might have seen it somewhere. I'm not sure, but yeah, so I just do it this way. And so far so good.
And what's a serving look like? You just give them one?
Three.
3 of them?
Three serving. Just do the tray for today. So while I'm putting these together, I said my favorites are meatball sandwiches, pasta and meatballs, lasagna, these. Like I said, I can do fettuccine, Alfredo. I'm just not a big white sauce fan myself. And everybody likes the basics. I don't know if anybody has ever said that they didn't like, spaghetti, meatballs. I just make the basic stuff. But like I said, the secret's in the sauce. So Jake, how do you like Italian food?
It's got my #1 spot.
Does it?
My favorite, yeah.
Right on. Yeah, there's just something about Italian food, man. When I was a young kid, my Italian family, we used to go to a place in Omaha, Nebraska. It was a very famous restaurant. It actually is where the Omaha mob used to hang out all the time. They had a special downstairs room for the special people, you know, kind of thing. And believe it or not, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I had a bunch of relatives that were involved in that. And my dad was never in it. My grandfather really wasn't, but he knew people and he was always invited to go to places like that. And I did one time when I was a kid. I got to go downstairs and, you know, see what it was like. And just like in the movies, it was crazy. And I think I was 7 when I went down there. Kind of like the Bronx Tale. I don't know if you ever seen that movie. And this kid, Robert De Niro, played in the movie, and this kid got involved with one of the head honchos of the Italian family, you know, gambling, and, you know, he was a mobster kind of guy. And he hung out with him, became a, you know, best friend with him, and got him involved in some crazy stuff. And no, never did that. My dad, actually, when I was a kid, I used to lie about what he did for a living because he was the best hairdresser in town. He had 4 hair salons in Omaha called Mr. Conrad's. So he was very famous for doing hair. And I used to lie in school saying he was a mechanic because I didn't want to tell everybody that my dad was a hairdresser. But the funny thing is, all the kids at school, all their moms went to my dad's hair salons. So it's just like, you know, so what did he do? He joined the deputy sheriffs, you know, and as soon as he got involved in that, now I could sit there and say, oh, my dad's a deputy sheriff, you know, kind of thing. And guess who really was interested? The mob family, because they wanted somebody on the inside, and my dad told them no. So once you say something, do something, if you ever ask the mob for some help and you need something, they're there for you. But guess what? They own you. After that, you're in. It was just kind of a crazy life back then, you know. But it was funny because my grandfather, I have 2 nephews that are, I have 2 uncles that are 3 years older than me. They're as old as my sister because my grandfather got remarried later in life and had 2 more kids. Yeah. So they were my dad's brothers, and my dad and my grandfather and them and a couple other relatives, a couple other uncles. They would go to places all dressed up like they were, you know, gangsta kind of thing. They wore their suits and everything. Boy, they got the treatment. They got the A treatment. It was kind of funny. Done putting them all down. The dish is full. So now I'm going to go over to the other counter over here and cover it with sauce and my cheeses, and we'll put it in the oven for 30 minutes. Get my cheeses. Use mozzarella and Parmesan, Romano Parmesan on the top. Never have too much cheese. Everybody likes cheese. Cover it up nice and cheesy. I got some Romano. The oven's ready to go at 350. Put it in there for 30 minutes. I already had prepped my cheesy garlic bread. I'll tell you how it is. I take like little kind of hoagie loaves. I like to cut them in half. Butter, onion powder, garlic powder, a little bit of garlic salt on them, not a lot, because garlic powder just doesn't give it the garlicky taste that a lot of people like, so I add a little salt to it. And then I cover them up with mozzarella cheese. So that's my cheesy garlic bread. Let's go in the oven for about 5 minutes. I'll wait till that's almost done. I'll throw them in there and you're ready to go. Another personal thing, I'm a hardcore Husker fan. You can tell I'm tattooed with them. That's Herbie and the Husker helmet logo. Yeah, I bleed scarlet red, and everything you see in the kitchen, red, white. A lot of people know me by Husker Steve. Got some friends that call me Hockey Steve. They just can't call me Steve. I gotta have a nickname of some kind. I don't know. There's some that the greatest, but you know, everybody gets that. The cookies are already baked. I can show you what they are. These are strawberry flavored. It's really soft, I guess they're called crinkle cookies, I guess. I'd never call them that, but some people do when they eat them. I do strawberry, I do orange, I do lemon, I do chocolate, I do red velvet, which is chocolate but red. And I also do a Neapolitan. So I mix chocolate and strawberry together, and the white powder makes it a Neapolitan. Those are really yummy, and they really lay nice. They kind of like layer when they're baked. It's kind of cool. I didn't realize it would do that, but these are the cookies that I make. Bunch of different flavors. I experiment with them. I put nuts in them, walnuts, pistachios, chocolate ones with peanuts. I've used almonds, kind of stuff. A lot of different ways to bake those. Oh, I just went to grab, yeah, exactly. Because I put my glove on, I'm thinking I got the glove on. Man, that would have been yow! Okay, I had containers, but I don't have any right now. I use a separate container for just for reasons so it doesn't get all soggy with the salad. And you get a piece of cheesy garlic bread, and you get your dessert right here. That is your plate. Nice and filling. In the next video, I'll be making something else. Like I said, pasta and meatball sandwiches, which is a big fan favorite. Lasagna is another big favorite. Everybody likes lasagna. It's a 3-layer lasagna, so it's not, you know, the little 2-layer lasagnas that you get at the store and stuff like that. So it's really plump and thick, and this video is just about come to its end. If you enjoy what you watch, please leave a like and subscribe to this channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. It'll help me go a long way, and have a wonderful day.